It was all through Pete. It was all through Pete and that BOA deal, and Pete was just really great to me. He took me under his wing and kind of like introduced me to everybody. And at the time, it was, you know, it was Mark Bell, you, Eugene Bissett, Dick Gergen was a big deal. Trumbauer.
Oh my God.
You know, Craig was. You know, Craig was
still the mustache.
Craig,
So Craig and I have become friends through Bob Ashley.
Right.
Pretty good now. We're, you know, I see him quite a bit, and he's been coming to the shows and having a good time.
That's awesome.
You know,
he's such a good guy, man.
Well, you know, a guy's a good guy when he's like, he has cancer, and I'm doing the auction, and I'm like, well, I don't know if Craig's gonna live through the whole auction, so we're gonna do his part early. You know.
Nobody's surprised about that.
So let me just take the opportunity to say that obviously you and Bob run the NARBC, which is Tinley Park, St. Louis, which I want to talk about later, Texas, California at times. I mean, you guys basically have run what's been known as if not the biggest, the one of the top 2 or 3 biggest shows in the world.
Yeah, there's some other guys doing some good stuff too.
But they're great too. But the one thing about your show that is synonymous that no one will disagree with is the auction. And you are the auctioneer, and you make the auction.
Oh man, it's you know, I don't even know how that happened, because that's not something I ever did.
It's called drugs and alcohol.
Well, that's possible. Yes, a lot of booze definitely helped that out. But the weird thing was, it was like never a plan. It wasn't like, okay, I'll be a funny guy and do the auction. It was just like somehow
it was you being
you.
Just, like, all right, people,
well, you're kind of like you're kind of like the Daniel Tosh of the auctioneer. Like if I said 1% of the things you tell people, I would be like
dead,
kicked out of every. Like I would, no one would ever talk to me again.
Right? I mean, my mom says that all the time. She's like, "Why do people talk to you?"
I mean, just the racial stuff alone. I mean, like you know, obviously.
Maybe that's why Oz disappeared for 5 years or so.
Yeah, because you used to call him the other black guy.
He was the other black guy, because there was only 2 black guys in the whole thing: Chad Brown and him.
Yeah, the other. Yeah. But I mean, you say stuff that like I couldn't get away with saying. But that's what makes it so amazing, is that it's fun, and people, more drunk you get, the funner the party gets, and that auction is epic, and it's not just, I mean, it's also for a great cause. You know, USARK, the United States Association of Reptile Keepers, you guys raised, how much money did you raise last year for them?
I would say it's, I mean, Tinley's have been in the $100,000 range lately. You know, just on the one,
just
on
one
each
Tinley.
one, they've been, you know, in that 60 to 100 range. And I think you'd have to ask Bob. He keeps track of this stuff better than I do. I'm so drunk I remember half of it. But I think when we did 100, I want to say like 150 or 60 grand.
Yeah, just in one time.
And then we did the coolest stuff, and my mom and dad really like it as well, is the stuff where we've done like for herpers, certain people.
Yeah, that have had problems.
Yeah,
because you guys have raised some sick money for people that have had, you know, fires I remember the one that the gentleman lost his daughter. And we raised like
Joe Hupp.
Yeah, he raised like $20-something for the family.
Yeah, he literally didn't have the money to bury her.
And so I mean, you guys have done some amazing things, but in a fun way. You know, it's always fun. I mean, I know I bought. I think the most stupid thing I bought was a half-eaten Girl Scout cookie for $250. I think I spent that. I know that. Gosh, Lori? What did we always buy that you liked a lot? Well, one time I bought all that stupid bread, but that was not. But there was like a big bottle of wine or something like that. I spent like $800 on. Maybe. That was like a $20 bottle of wine.
Well, the pies.
I was going to say the pies.
Have you guys ever seen the pies that Russ Gurley always brings in from Oklahoma from that gas station?
Pies, you got them one time.
Yeah, I got them a couple times for like $300-400 for pies.
Oh yeah.
Now they'll go for more. Todd will spend thousands on
thousands. It's crazy. No, the community's
pies.
Yes, those are some good fucking pies.
They are. We have a community that like is frustrating as it can be, which we'll have to get into that obviously tonight at some point too. There's then the other side of it. Like the Tinley NARBC is a special beast, I think, because you see, it reminds you of the Orlando days. I think, you know, it's got a lot of that vibe to it where everyone who's somebody is there.
Yeah.
And at the auction, it then sort of the peripheral people who, and I don't mean don't matter, but the real hardcores come together because they know what's going to happen that night, and they understand that what we do there is more important than really the whole rest of the night, because without that portion of it, the whole rest of it will never happen anymore. We'll be done. Yeah. We wouldn't have an industry.
Yeah.
And that, you know.
Yeah, and I stopped doing reptile shows a while back. We'll talk about that a little bit later too, why I did that. But I want to come back to Tinley or to any of the NARBCs just for the auctions.
Yeah.
Even if I come in just fly in, for the auction and then bail. But although I think things are, a little bit different now than they were a couple years ago. Where I think a couple years ago I was going to have a hard time walking into a room with the Sean Bradleys of the world and stuff like that, where I knew these people were so vitriolically going after me. Now I think most of that's behind, and I feel like as a matter of fact, this last Tinley in October. I mean, there was a huge amount of people that were reaching out to me saying, please come, please come, please come. So I was ready to, and I really wanted to come, this year. And hopefully.
Let's hope we have it.
Let's hope you have it this year, But we do have St. Louis is still on.
So far, so good. Missouri numbers seem to be holding pretty good. And that's my biggest hope, because Texas has just been, on fire with COVID and everything else. And I don't know what's going to happen there.
But they don't seem to be caring though down there, right?
Yeah, that might be the deal. That it just doesn't matter. And now with pro sports coming back, because I was always saying we sort of fall under the pro sports thing, because we have enough people to where if we can have our thing, they can have their thing. So I kind of watch pro sports, and as they come back, I feel like shows in general of all types, trade shows will come back too.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I sure hope. I mean, I've talked with Jay and stuff like that, and even Lori. I'd like to come to the. Well, first off, it's my birthday, September 6th. And that's when the St. Louis show is.
Shameless plug there.
Yeah.
So bring presents. Bring presents.
The P.O. Box number.
Yeah, the P.O. Box will be in the description.
My wish list will be up on the website at 7.
Amazon wish list.
Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon. Yeah. I'll get the Amazon wish list. The Victoria's Secret wish list.
That's right.
Someone hit the DJ air horn. We got some news.
Speaking of that, the panties right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got my panties.
Reptarium banana hammock for sale now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, look at this. This is nice. Reptarium swag right there. But no, I want to come to to that show just because, really, to be honest with you, I want to buy a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Not to buy to sell, but to buy to. There's a bunch of colubrid stuff that I really.
Down.
No,
That's
there's a bunch of I'm not going to buy any ball pythons because I'm good there.
You're not going to buy colubrids either, because guess who's in charge of that? Me.
I know, but we're going to have a colubrid.
That's my
person.
wheelhouse. That's my wheelhouse. I decided.
There's so many great colubrids I want to get. And that
I'm
show would be. I think that we've been talking about it. What is your thoughts on the fact that there are going to be less shows? Will there, so we do everything retail online, right? But a lot of these guys really rely on the shows to sell their animals.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
And the other thing is, we know that the Chinese and Japanese and some other foreigners always came and bought tons of stuff.
Yeah.
And so you wonder if those guys are going to have a harder time selling. Not at the shows. They'll probably do great at the shows, but there aren't as many shows, and there aren't going to be the other people.
Online sales right now are through the roof for everybody.
Yeah.
Sales period are just like my store, everybody's store that I hear. ZoomEd, who I order products through, was one of my sponsors. Exoterra, one of my sponsors as well. We order stuff from them. And so COVID hit the Exoterra warehouse, and they went from 17 pickers who would actually pick the products and pack them and ship them to 2.
Oh my God.
For 4 weeks.
Wow.
So they're 6 weeks behind on shipping.
Wow.
ZoomEd sales are more than double Christmas sales right now. And
that's how BHB's been too,
Yeah, and so it's hard to get stuff right now.
I just think that the problem is that for the people that have a great Facebook or a great website or whatever, they're great. But the guy that is just that basement breeder that goes to 3 shows a year, he's in trouble, or she's in trouble.
Or I think those guys might be just calling their buddy Mike Wilbanks or their buddy Brian Barczyk or their buddy whoever and saying, "Hey, dude, just take my stuff." And, and they're happy to get it because they're blowing through stuff at a
because we can't.
pace.
I mean, literally, Lori talked about it. She's putting stuff up on the web. Like today, you put some stuff on the website.
I put the first 2020 ball pythons. Literally, as I'm doing them, my phone won't stop dinging. They're literally selling as fast as I'm putting them up.
It's
and
crazy.
I'm like, this is crazy. And I came upstairs, and Beth's like, "Well, obviously you put up." I was like, that's what I was doing.
I guess my real point was not so much that I thought people were going to have a problem, other than the thought that there might be some badass shit at that show that I'd like to buy.
Oh yeah,
well, There is going to be, because I know I've reached out to a few people, and that's what they've said is they're holding everything back for that show.
Yeah. It's gonna be good.
That show is going to be really rough.
It'll be ripping
because it'll be the first one. I know, and St. Louis is awesome. Have you been?
To a show in so long.
Have you been to St. Louis?
You stopped going, like you said, 8 years ago, right?
No, it's not been 8. It's probably been 5. Something like that. I'm
yeah,
not sure.
but you didn't go to too many.
So young.
You were young, and you didn't really like going, so you didn't go to too many. So
well, it's a lot. See, the thing I miss in particular about the NARBC is how fun it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's
well,
not
it'll be
the
a
show.
lot
I'll be
more
totally
fun
on
now, not having a table to work.
Right,
being able
yeah, the
to
worst
just
part.
walk around.
Yeah, the worst part of the show is the show.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
I mean, like
I know,
you know, like
because
being
who
at
sets
like
it all
setting
up?
it up, tearing
Who
it
tears
down,
it all down?
Yeah,
Right
putting
here.
the animals away, packing the animals up. Not having to do that is going to be dope, man. I mean, I always watch Mark and Kim Bell like walk around the shows, and I was like, man, I wonder how that'd feel. Now we can be that person, those people, and that'd be dope as hell.
Just
you know,
being there for the socialization.
Yeah,
and
it'll
the
be fun.
Part.
It's gonna be fun because I think people are gonna be appreciative that they can get out and do a show. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be a good vibe. I think people are gonna be like, you know, it's like you become appreciative of something that you can do that before you didn't think it was a big deal, and now it's like it's a gift to be able to go and do stuff like that.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
for sure. I mean,
We
we're
saw that
seeing
there,
that with the Reptarium.
Yeah.
You know, with being open. I know he was like, you know, worried like, oh, are people going to come? And I'm like, oh no, people want things to do,
Yeah,
and
people
that's
are so
basically
happy.
what it is. People are just so happy to have a place to go, to be able to, you know, have fun.